What's good, YouTube? Sensational Clancy'S here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for September 20th, 2019's reset. So let's get right into this real quick and see what's good for this week. Okay, so for our first gear items, we're going to head over to Camp Clinton. And here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4% sticky bomb damage. And the weapons vendor here, we're still at Camp Clinton, has an AUG A3 Para XS with a gear score of 258. It has 18.50% crit hit chance. And the talents it has is Fierce, Adept, and Determined. And then also here we got a VX1 scope times 12 with 17.50% headshot damage, 4% crit hit damage, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to Camp Clinton. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 11% magazine size, 3% crit hit chance, and 10.30% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor, and we got a M700 carbine here with a gear score of 274. It has 160% headshot damage, and the talents it has is Deadly, Adept, and Elevated. And then also here we have a military M60 E4 with a gear score of 281. It has 20% damage to targets out of cover, and the talents it has is Fierce, Ferocious, and Competent. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a Cassidy with a gear score of 283. It has 339% stagger, and the talents it has is Brutal, Responsive, and then you already know Boomstick. And then also here we got a Liberator, if you don't have nothing better than a Lightweight or a Lova. This particular one has a gear score of 277. It has 21% enemy armor damage, and the talents it has is Prepared, Deadly, and Sustained. Also here we have a Pecan, if you like to use the Pecan. We have one here with a gear score of 263. It has 19% damage to targets out of cover, and the talents it has is Unforgiven, Deadly, and you already know the last one. Also here we have an M700 Tactical Marksman's Rifle with a gear score of 266. It has 144% headshot damage, and the talents it has is Intense, Prepared, and Elevated. Also here we have a military L86 LSW with a gear score of 277. It has 21% damage to targets out of cover, and the talents it has is Vicious, Ferocious, and Adept. And then also here we have a Tactical Mask with the talent refreshed on there with a gear score of 266. It has 863 armor, and its roll for electronics 1191, and the attributes it has is exotic damage resilience and increased kill XP. Also here we have a tactical vest with the talent vigorous on there with a gear score of 266. It has 1899 armor, its roll for stamina 1122, and the attributes it has is enemy armor damage, health, and ammo capacity. Also here we have an extended magazine with a 111.50% magazine size, 3% crit hit chance, and 5.10% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're going to head to Kerman Station. In here the weapons vendor has an extended magazine with 117% magazine size, 4.50% reload speed, and 3% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to Camp Clinton. And here the special equipment vendor has a custom P416G3 with a gear score of 278. It has 18% enemy armor damage, and the talents it has is Competent, Brutal, and Fierce. And also here we got a SAS G12 with a gear score of 271. It has 343 stagger, and the talents it has is Adept, Ferocious, and Dominant. Also here we have a Tactical Mask with the talent Enduring on there. It has a gear score of 279. It has 994 armor. Its roll for firearms 1216, and the attributes it has is health on kill and disorient resistance. Also here we have an operator pack with the talent Inventive on there. It has a gear score of 274. It has 1306 armor. Its roll for electronics 1185, and the attributes it has is health and ammo capacity. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to Autumn's Hope. And here the gear vendor has an operator's pack with the talent Inventive on there. We got another one. This particular one has a gear score of 269. The armor is 1135. Its roll for firearms 1213. And the attributes it has is skill power and ammo capacity. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to the last call. And here the weapons vendor has a vertical grip FDE with 49.50% optimal range, 5% reload speed, and 2% accuracy. For our next gear item, is going to head over to the ward. And here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 5.50% sticky bomb explosion radius. For our next gear item, is going to head over to the southpaw. And here the gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent enduring on there. We have another one of these. This particular one has a gear score of 267. The armor is 864. This roll for firearms 1203. And the attributes it has is crit hit chance and burn resistance. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to the firewall. And here the gear vendor has a prototype electronics mod with 189 electronics and 3% damage to elites. And then also here, I'm just going to mention it because I'm here, but we got a prototype performance mod with 4% mobile cover, damage resilience. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 31st checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical pack with the talent specialized on there. It has a gear score of 272. The armor is 1227. It's roll for firearms 1200. And the attributes it has is skill power and burn resistance. And then also, I'll just mention it because I'm here. We got a prototype performance mod with 4% ballistic shield damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 39th Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a M870 Express with a gear score of 281. It has 326% stagger. And the talents it has is Deadly, Swift, and Fierce. And then also here we got an operator glove with the talent Savaged on there. It has a gear score of 262. Its armor is 854. Its roll for electronics 1119. And the attributes it has is crit hit damage, assault rifle damage, and enemy armor damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 46th Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a SASG 12 with a gear score of 262. It has 333.50% stagger. And the talents it has is self-preserve, fierce, and deadly. And then also here we have an operator's vest with the talent reckless on there. It has a gear score of 274. The armor is 1898. It's roll for firearms 1181. And the attributes it has is health on kill, all resistance, and increased kill XP. And then also here we got a prototype stamina mod with 256 stamina and 3,000 skill power. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 53rd Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical vest with the talent Vigorous on there. This particular one has a gear score of 271. The armor is 1866. Its roll for firearms 1205. And the attributes it has is all resistance, health, and ammo capacity. And then also here we have a small red grip with 18% crit hit damage, 4.50% optimal range, and 2% accuracy. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 61st Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 3% crit hit chance, 4.50% reload speed, and 10.80% rate of fire. And then also here we got a Tyrant suppressor with 7% crit hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, and 5% optimal range. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 58th Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops pack with the talent Inventive on there. This one has a gear score of 280. Its armor is 1322. Its roll for firearms 1240. And the attributes it has is health and disrupt resistance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an operator mask with the talent Enduring on there. This one has a gear score of 276. The armor is 890. Its roll for firearms 1263. And the attributes it has is health on kill and burn resistance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 46th Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical SASG 12K with a gear score of 260. It has 291 stagger, and the talents it has is dominant, adept, and fierce. And then also here we have a prototype performance mod with 7% ballistic shield health. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 42nd Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 264 stamina and 3% skill haste. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 40th Street checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has an operator mask with the talent Tenacious on there. This one has a gear score of 275. The armor is 934. Its roll for stamina 1175. And the attributes it has is all resistance and disoriented resistance. And then also here we have a prototype performance mod with 4.50% ballistic shield damage resilience. And then also here we have an extended magazine with a 110.50% magazine size, 4% crit hit damage, and 5.50% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 31st Street Checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 5.50% first aid ally heal. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 31st Street Checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a small grip red with 18% crit hit damage, 2.50% stability, and 4.50% optimal range. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to 5th Ave Checkpoint. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 5.50% first aid self-heal. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ2 Safe Room. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor has an operator mask with the talent refreshed on there. This one has a gear score of 272. The armor is 984. Its roll for electronics 1165. And the attributes it has is enemy armor damage and damage to elites. And then also here we have a Spec Ops armor with the talent reckless on there. This one has a gear score of 275. It has 1929 armor. Its roll for electronics 1183. And the attributes it has is exotic damage resilience, skill haste, and increased kill XP. And also here we have a tactical gloves with the talent savaged on there. It has a gear score of 264. It has 911 armor. Its roll for firearms 1121, and the attributes it has is marksman rifle damage, crit hit chance, and health on kill. For our next gear item, is going to head over to DZ3 Safe Room. And here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a converted SMG9. In case anybody that likes to run this weapon, I thought I'd just mention it. But it has a gear score of 276. It has 22% crit hit chance. And the talents it has is vicious, adept, and ferocious. And also here we got a SOCOM M1A with a gear score of 266. It has 153 headshot damage. And the talents it has is cool-headed, vicious, and adept. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ8 Safe Room. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor has the operator mask with the talent refreshed on there. This one has a gear score of 272. The armor is 920. Its roll for electronics 1216. And the attributes it has is crit hit chance and disoriented resistance. And also here we got a gunslinger vest with the talent rapid on there. This one has a gear score of 277. The armor is 1901. Its roll for electronics 1256. And the attributes it has is health, skill haste, and increased kill XP. And then also here we have an operator pack with the talent specialized on there. This one has a gear score of 277. Its armor is 1276. Its roll for firearms 1224. And the attributes it has is stability and disrupt resistance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ9 Safe Room. And here the Dark Zone weapon vendor has a 5.52 hollow sight with 7% crit hit chance and 4% optimal range and 2% accuracy. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video for September 20th, 2019. I want to thank everybody who tuned into it. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the support. Thank you for all the comments. I appreciate the support. It's much love. And I will holler at y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace.